Hello, everybody. It's your girl, Weebo Jones, back at you with another cocktail hour. We are early today, and I have a good explanation for why. See, Wednesday, last Wednesday, not this Wednesday, but last Wednesday, I went to go drink at an outdoor bar that's in my town, and so I was supposed to meet people for drinks there, and while I was waiting on, the people that I was supposed to get a drink with, I was talking with the bartendress, and she offered me a job because they're hurt for people, I guess. And so she offered me a job as a bartender, and I started training that Friday, so like 2 days ago. Worked a 10-hour shift, came home, feet absolutely dead. Oh my gosh. And then yesterday I had a big hullabaloo of a day for a friend's birthday party. It was like an all-day affair because we were supposed to distract her while everyone else was decorating her house because it was a surprise birthday party. And then today I get a text message from another bartender who's going to finish out my training today on closing. And so I have to be in around 7 or 8 p.m., which is why we had to move the show up a little bit because I have a job now and real life gets in the way of things on the internet, unfortunately. But I didn't want to cancel the show, so instead we're moving it up. And hopefully Polly will be here momentarily. We just have to wait a little bit. To be fair, he's technically not late if we're early, even if we totally did agree on stuff. But now this makes it like a genuine cocktail hour because I'm an actual bartender now. Anyway, so hi guys. I'm sorry that there wasn't much heads up in this. I know last week we said that we were going to start at the normal time. It was going to be completely normal, but that was before I realized, or before I had a job. And in a week's time, I managed to get some gainful employment. At least I'm using my psychology degree. It might not be a computer science, software engineering position, but it's something, and it's more than the call center that I was alternating between. I genuinely think that working at a call center would probably be super soul sucking, but they keep trying to communicate with me is the thing, right? So you'll be like on Indeed or LinkedIn or whatever, or Simply Hired, and you'll get someone reaching out to you, and it's as a customer service representative for a company XYZ. Speak of the devil. Hi, Polly.
Hello.
Oh, shit. You know what? Hang on. Audio is coming through a different area than it should be. All right. Now you can talk.
Hello.
There we go. Now it's better. Sorry, it wasn't coming through my headphones.
Oh,
which defeats the purpose of having the headphones, right?
Mm.
So I was just telling everybody about my new bartending gig.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which is why we're having this show earlier than previously anticipated. I don't think this is going to be a normal thing. I think it's just because I haven't gotten a solid schedule and I'm still in training. And so it's just whoever can train me when they can train me. And tonight was as good a night as any. I think my first full day of like actual work by myself is going to be this Tuesday. So I will be completely on my own Tuesday.
Well, you know your way around liquor.
Yeah, I do. I do. I had to ask for help making a Moscow Mule because I'm like, what the fuck goes in that? I've never made one of those before. And my coworker, she's like, it's vodka and ginger beer. And I'm like, what the fuck do we keep the ginger beer? So, yes. What? But I don't anticipate it being super difficult.
Okay, I get the Moscow part from the vodka. How does the mule relate to the ginger beer?
I don't know, but it's vodka, ginger beer, and then this one had lime in it. Yes, we do have copper mugs, Punisher, that's typically what it is that you put them in. Like, you know how the alcohols have different drinks that you put them in?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, so we
Holy
definitely
fuck,
have
Punisher's
that.
Here. Jesus Christ, it's been a while, man. How the hell are you doing?
Apparently early enough in the day that he can join us for a stream.
Yeah, I guess so.
Fuck. Yeah. And
I have my
Selvin's here as well. Hi.
I have my branded mint julep bourbon mugs. The all stainless steel ones that you're supposed to.
Yeah.
And they got the Maker's Mark plaque emblazoned on the side of them. Pretty happy to have those. They're pretty cool. There's you don't really need to make a mint julep in one of them, but whatever, it's fine.
Whatever, it's fine.
Besides, my mint julep, what I call a mint julep is really just a bourbon sour anyway.
Yeah.
It's not a real mint julep, but whatever.
Well, Polly, all right. So now that I'm a bartender, this is like an actual cocktail hour.
Right. Yeah.
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 It's legit. We've taken it up a notch, ladies and gentlemen. And you know what? That book of bar recipes called The Cocktail Hour, I don't even know, working title, Cocktail Hour, Bar Book of Recipes or whatever, coming to you at some point in the near to soon distant future. Because now I have no choice but to create a nice, lovely, original cocktail book idea and market it shamelessly with the help of course, Polydub.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
So is this the first time you're showing cleavage on stream?
Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just thinking because I just say it because you look all dolled up for your gig. You know, looking good. Well done.
Because as soon as we get off here, I gotta run to get to work.
Oh man,
we're gonna be cutting it super close.
Yeah,
but that's fine.
Punisher says his cocktail choice is Manhattan. Man, super popular. You better know how to make a good Manhattan if you're going to be a bartender, weebs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get your proportions right.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so my dad, you know how some people do like the finger rule, or some people do the second rule. My dad does like the 8-second rule for alcohol when he pours.
So he's got a lead hand.
He's a very generous bartender, and so I had to kind of like unlearn that when I went into work on Friday.
Why aren't you just using jiggers? Like, because measurement is sacrilege. Is that the?
Yeah. No. So
that was jiggers with a J. YouTube. Don't get worried.
Well, so yeah, Dad uses the 8-second rule, but at this establishment where I work now, we use the 4-second rule. So 4 seconds if you want just a regular tall, just add more ice and make it a bigger glass. But if you want like a double, then it's 4, 4.
Right. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me ask you this. Little trivia for the bartender. I walk up to your bar and I say with my stentorian, mellifluous tones, "Hi, bartender. I would like an exceptionally dry vodka martini." What are you going to do? How are you going to make it?
I have no fucking clue. I'd ask you, how do I make this? I don't make these very often. What goes in a vodka martini?
Okay, let's look at it a different way. Let's say I were to walk up to you and I would say, "Hi, I would like a vodka martini." What are you going to do?
I'd ask you what goes in that because I have a good idea how to make that.
If somebody says an exceptionally dry vodka martini,
I don't know what that means.
You get out your shaker, right? You fill it with ice, okay, and then let whatever size of martini you're serving at your particular establishment. Let's say it's a 4-ouncer, okay. You're going to put in. What you're going to do is you're going to take a half jigger of dry vermouth, pour it in over the ice, then dump it out into your sink. So you're just wetting the cubes with dry vermouth. Then you put 4 ounces of vodka in it, stir it, pour it into the glass, 2 olives. There you go. Classic, very dry vodka martini.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Yeah, so I didn't know that. So now I know that.
What makes a martini dry versus quote unquote wet is how much vermouth is in it. Okay. When somebody says a dry martini, they mean less and less and less and less vermouth. So when you say exceptionally dry, you're going to want to put in as little vermouth as possible. And different bartenders have different ways of doing it. Some just wet the cubes. Some will just wet the inside of the glass. Some get turned into smart asses and have a fucking atomizer where they go with the vermouth over the top.
Okay, so I didn't know that. Yeah, no, I haven't had to make anything nearly that complicated yet. I haven't even had the opportunity to use the shaker, mind you. Most of it's just pouring wine and serving beer, and every once in a while, a person will ask for like a rum and coke.
Two ingredients she just described as complicated. Okay, I just want to point that.
You literally brought out the word atomizer.
I said some smart ass bartenders, right? Because the quest for the driest martini, everyone's always going. You know, some bartenders will have an eyedropper. Although, as a bartenderess, as a serving wench, if you will, that's what they call in fantasy games, the serving wench. I'm not saying you're a wench. It's fine.
I'm totally a serving wench.
You already know the driest martini recipe in the world because I can give it to you right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You serve 4 jiggers of gin or vodka, okay, and have a picture of Alessandro Swartz at the end of the bar, who's the inventor of vermouth. Mm. So you drink your cold gin or vodka while staring at the picture of the inventor of vermouth. That's the world's driest martini.
You are that smart ass bartender with the atomizer.
I am. I was in a bar once in New Orleans where the bartender would open the bottle of vermouth and place it in front of the bar fan, so it would just the smell of vermouth would be in the air while you were drinking your cold gin or vodka.
What the okay? So you have to explain to me exactly what the point of the vermouth is if you want less and less of it. Like, what is vermouth? First off, what is vermouth?
I think it's a digestif. I can't remember if it's an aperitif or a digestif. I think it's a fortified wine. It's a flavored fortified wine. So fortified means above regular alcohol content, because wine, like grape wine or whatever fruit, whatever the fuck you're using, maxes out somewhere between 10 and 14%. You get Zinfandels that are ridiculously high alcohol contents, like 13.8, 14.1, but they max out around there. You will see fortified wines, which is basically a wine, but they fortified it with grain alcohol to push it up to like 18, 20, 24% alcohol by volume.
Okay.
Very often accompanying them is sweeteners, herbals, flavorings of some kind. So like Quina Lillet Blanc is a personal favorite of mine because you need it to make a Vesper martini. It's a citrusy fortified wine. So, to make a Vesper martini, you need gin, vodka, and Quina Lillet mixed together.
Okay. Makes sense. I get it. I get it.
So there you go.
I always wanted to be a bartender. Like, that was my bucket list for jobs that I wanted, and now I can, cross it off my bucket list. So I feel like I've lived an even more full life than I previously had. So even if this isn't, a software developer job, I'm okay. I'm totally okay with this.
So, well, I'm curious. Did you want to be a bartender? Or did you want to be a mixologist? No,
I just wanted to tend a bar at one point in my life just to say that I had,
That's cool. That's what I do over at Noir Bar. I'm a bartender. I'm not a mixologist. Yeah. I pour bourbon for people. You want gin? It's bathtub gin. Yeah, we have beer. It's made by Far's dad. Like, you know what I said? Like, it's a bar that we, if you come in and ask for some kind of fancy pants bullshit, you're gonna get a strange look.
Like, what the fuck? You want what? And who? And the hit? What?
Yeah. And it's like, I want a screaming eagle. Oh, did you want your cucumber bruised? Like that kind of shit. Like,
you want me to beat the cucumber with the hammer first before I, put it into your thing and then mull it?
Yeah. It's I like some of the things that go on with mixology, but like so many things, it ends up going to a
ridiculous level.
Yeah, a prissy, pretentious, obnoxious level.
I'm reminded, I think, that one episode of Parks and Recreation where Tommy takes them to a really high-end contemporary bar where you drink alcohol in every way, or you consume alcohol in every sense except for by drinking it. So they have lotion that just absorbs into your skin. They have literally like light vodka where you like get flashed by a light and it's just like, I don't know, you're absorbing it visually.
Vodka. That's funny.
Like, you do not drink the alcohol. You have to do everything else to get the alcohol in your system. It's actually quite hilarious.
Oh yeah, steal all the stuff. Appropriate inappropriately all of the stuff you can from your job.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I say is because, like Punisher said, it's not a hammer, it's a muddler, and that's true. You want a muddler in your collection, Weebs. You want a muddler, and you want a proper martini strainer, and you want a proper shaker, top and bottom both. All of these. You want a bar mat.
Yes,
and so if those things tend to be around because people that are representing various wine and spirits companies show up and just give this stuff to bars because they want, like, the bar mat. Like I have a Hennessy bar mat, not because I love Hennessy cognac. I actually prefer Remy Martin, but Remy Martin. But yes, but they it was free swag that came my way, so I was like, so my shaker and my bar mat are both Hennessy labeled. Whatever. It's a tempered glass Hennessy shaker with the proper steel bottom, so I was happy with it. And then all the Maker's Mark swag that I got a Maker's Mark pen, for God's sake. Because
wait, where do you get all the swag? Is it like, is there
industry friends?
Is there an alcoholics convention somewhere that I don't know about?
Industry friends.
Okay.
Yeah, people that work in bars and stuff like that, and they knew that I wanted like all the stuff to, because I'm fighting the reputation of being an alcoholic, but pursuing it somehow.
It's not alcoholism. How many times do I have to tell you this, Polly? It's not alcoholism until you graduate from college for the last time.
For the last time, I like how you say that. Yeah.
So I could go back to school. And I still wouldn't be considered an alcoholic.
I'll always be doing some kind of extension course at a community college. Something.
Go get my associates in business management, make myself look even more attractive.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, I will say this: if you want to buy cognac, here's a little like side hint: avoid Hennessy. You know why?
Why?
It's got a premium price on it because you have to pay for all their advertising. Well, they have to pay for their advertising, which they pass along to the consumer because that's how business economics work, right? Mm-hmm. When you're standing there at your local liquor store and you see, here's the bottle of Remy, and here's the bottle of Heen, and here's the bottle of Hennessy, and the various other producers, the Hennessy will be more expensive than everything else. And it's like, why? Because they got a lot. Check out their ad campaigns. It's insane. They advertise globally, and you got to pay for it. Is it better? No,
I've never had cognac, so I don't know. Is it a good liquor?
Cognac is very good, yeah, but it's just brandy. It's just from a particular area of France. You can make brandy anywhere in the world, but you can only make cognac
in France
from the cognac region of France.
That's so pretentious, though.
It's because of the varietals of grapes and the history of the blending houses in cognac and so forth. I prefer a Calvados over cognac anyway. It's apple brandy. Instead of using grapes, they're using apples, and I prefer it. And it's like a third the price of cognac, but still made with the same process in the sense of barrel aging and so forth. And cognac, to answer your question, cognac is very, very good, but there's lots of really good aged brandies everywhere in the world. There's lots of great Spanish cognacs, or brandies rather.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah.
I intend to learn a great deal more about the world at large with this show. It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
Did you know that your co-host is a sommelier?
You?
That's me.
I did not know that.
I'm a sommelier.
Sommelier?
Yeah. First level. Registered with the Court of International Sommeliers in London. That's me.
I don't know what that means, actually.
Explain
it to me like I'm 5 so I understand. Would you? Please? A sommelier?
A sommelier?
This sounds, I don't know. It sounds like you're from Somalia. But I don't think that's what it is. So just to clarify, what is it Somalia?
It's like you got a super chat.
Thank you, James Colley, for the donation over on the super chats. Karens without cats have degrees in business management equals not attractive. Well, maybe I'll just not get the business management. Maybe I'll get something business management adjacent. I don't know. Electromechanical precision instrument engineering. I don't know.
Nice. I like it.
I'll do it.
Okay. A bunch of people got together back in the day and they're set up a system by where they get to judge and evaluate and certify people as being experts in wine and food pairing.
Oh.
Right. And there's 3 levels of sommelier through Court of Master Sommeliers in London. There's 2 certification bodies. Is any of this actually worth anything?
No.
I would argue no. Some people incredibly so, yes. There are 3 levels of sommeliers. The top is Master Sommelier. These people are so focused on their status as being sommeliers that they actually use it as a post-nominal, the way that somebody would use like BA or MSc or whatever, right? Yeah. They will actually put like, Jane Smith, comma, MS, Master Sommelier. And it's like, that's not an actual post-nominal, and they're like, it is because I want it to be.
Oh, so, okay. You have an extra level of pretension attached to your actual name then, Polly. Is that what I'm hearing? Because you're a sommelier.
But because not Master Sommelier. There's only
No. But you have that qualification, I guess you could say.
I guess, but there's no way I would ever fucking use it. I'll tell you why. There's
not on your resume.
Is it on my resume? It depends on the resume. It's certainly not on my academic resume because it just doesn't belong there. Did you also include your interest in arts and crafts? No.
Are you a certified underwater basket weaver?
Yeah. If it was a more generalized resume, I might include it because that's stuff that they might want to know because they're looking to hire, I don't know, quote unquote, well-rounded people. I don't know. It depends on where you're doing and what you're doing and so forth. But I'll tell you why I would never do that. Like if it's not with the so-called post-nominals, like the letters after your name, right? I wouldn't ever do that because I've seen people that put a veritable alphabet soup after their fucking name. And it's like, what the fuck does all that shit mean? And you'll
they're acronyms, Polly.
Well, yeah, but you'll copy and paste it. And it's like, that's a certification for a 2-month course in graphic design you took. 2 months, you put that like I said, they've got something 27 letters after their fucking name in total. And it's like, you bothered to put that there? How desperate are you for credibility? It looks bad.
So would you be mad at me if I went around telling people I passed the bar exam?
No, that's just funny. Just kidding. That's just a good pun.
Yeah. I don't know. You sounded a little bit salty.
No, have you ever seen people?
Would it be different if I put different letters after my name that represented the fact that I was now bar certified?
Have you ever seen the people? No, because that's just a good joke because you're not looking for people to take you seriously. These are people that do that. You know who has a tendency towards, and I'm not looking to insult anybody, but people that do Photoshop oriented, Adobe oriented graphic design. They will put a whole series of post-nominals after their name, and when you search them, they are all accreditations from short courses that they've taken from 2 weeks to 6 months long. And it's like, but this is only this is such fly-by-night stuff. It's, I got certification from the Adobe Academy. Wait, what?
Adobe has an academy.
No, I just made that up. I'm just saying, how ridiculous would that sound, man?
That would sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially since that's not super impressive.
I think they're trying to do it like, in their defense, within their own realm of people that have certifications of that kind.
Yeah.
That it means something within the circle of graphic artists and graphic design people, that they would recognize it. But I would have to imagine that it would be similar. This is total guesswork now, right? That it would be similar to the way that it is in academia, that when you start fucking around with your additional post-nominals, that it starts to make you look bad. If you ever see anybody that has Dr. Jane Smith, PhD, it's like you just doubled. You're a doctor by virtue of your PhD.
So basically the academic equivalent of Moon.
Right? Like it's nobody.
Dr. XX PhD. Moon, is that you?
Nobody would ever do that fucking shit. Like who wanted to not look like a jackass. I have seen people that have done things that it's like, why did you do that? Like Dr. Jane Smith, BA, MA, PhD. It's like the BA and the MA are absolutely implied.
It makes sense if you're Dr. Jane Smith, MD, to qualify that you are a medical practitioner.
Exactly. That is why
that would be the only one.
People who start up with the shit of, you're Dr. John Smith, right? And it's like, oh, well, but you're not a real doctor when they find out your PhD's in history, let's say. And it's like, no, I am a real doctor by virtue of having a doctorate. I'm not an MD. That's why medical doctors are very serious about putting MD after their name. John Smith, MD. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's reserved for people that are medical doctors only. So, but you're not a real doctor. No, you're just an ignorant fucker that doesn't understand what a doctorate is. And you assume that everybody that was a doctor could heal your broken bone, you dumb fuck. And you're goddamn right I'm salty about that shit, because people are like, oh, I know what a real doctor is. No, you don't. You think you do. You're confusing an MD with an academic doctorate.
Because when the majority of people with PhDs or like a doctorate, right, would not be medical practitioners. At least
no, they wouldn't.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And medical school is very, very different from academic school. And if you want to like, medical doctors are worth so much more than academic doctors, yeah, fine. I mean, go ahead and make all those fucking arguments, but don't give me this not a real doctor thing. That's fuck off.
I actually saw a Reddit post a few weeks ago about someone whose like doctorate or DR moniker was not put on their wedding invitation, like to and be invited to a wedding, and they were super pissed at the couple that didn't put that on the wedding invitation. And I think the couple's justification was like, "Oh, but you're not a real doctor."
Yeah, well, okay. A few things about that. Shio, first of all, dude, really?
Head motions while talking about beating cucumbers. Really? Yeah. Yeah.
Really, Shio? I mean, that's just...
we point things out.
just give it a minute before you start cracking them jokes, man. I'm just saying. And some people have asked me, it's like... Wait.
I just saw the other one, too.
Yes, that is the correct reaction you're having, Weebo.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other one.
I mean, it's funny, but man.
It is funny. Fuck. Okay, so you're saying... Actually, hang on. Pause before we get in trouble. Roblox Gaming, thank you for the donation. Here's some Dola. Oh, God, I'm having issues. Dolens for such a riveting conversation. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you think that this is a riveting conversation.
I'm sensing that was sarcastic, actually, but that's okay. Let's pretend that it was serious.
No. It's totally serious. What were we talking about?
Oh, people that do the okay, where I was going to go with it is the doctor thing, like when to use the doctor. And people have said to me, so when you graduate, you're going to be Dr. Dub. And some people pointed out right away that's like, it makes you sound like a techno DJ. Like, and I'm like, yeah. I think Dr. Polly would be a better call. Like Dr. Dub. It legitimately makes me sound like a remix artist or something.
No, I actually think I like Dr. Dub more than I like Dr. Polly. Because Dr. Polly sounds weird. I don't like it.
Dr. Polly sounds a little bit like Dr. Nick from The Simpsons. You know, like, hello, everybody. Like the quack doctor they had on The Simpsons.
Yeah, no, I couldn't take you seriously if you were Dr. Polly. If you were Dr. Dub, I don't know, it just flows off the tongue better a little bit.
It does. I mean, you get the alliteration working, like, but people have asked me, it's like, when are you going to use it? And it's like, I am not one of those people that would be insistent upon it because I find it annoying when people are.
Yeah.
I know friends of mine that went and became police officers and then they passed the detective test. They insist everybody call them detective.
Like instead of their actual name, it's just detective. Detective.
Well,
detective.
no, I mean like
his wife instead of honey, he's detective.
No,
detective!
Maybe
call me detective in the bedroom.
I would like to think that that's not happening, though I have no specific information that it is.
I hope it's happening because that would just make the reality of what we're living in so much better.
Dr. Dub sounds like a soda Lion Patriots. It kind of does.
Oh, that would be a police abuse of power that I could totally get behind. Call me detective.
Dr. Dub Sarsaparilla. Actually, thank you, Lion Patriot, for the $15. Very generous. My 32-ounce bag of black licorice arrives sometime next week. Who here also likes licorice? I can't get into black licorice candy. You know what I mean? But I'm a big fan of anisette and what's the Greek version called? Ouzo.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the black licorice flavored liqueurs and stuff. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Thank you, Alpha Omega, for the donation over on the Streamlabs. There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Have a good night slinging those drinks. Thank you very kindly, sir. I am super excited. I don't think I'm going to be doing much drink slinging tonight, though, because I think I'm just in for closing, and that's it. Which means just a lot of counting up monies and shutting everything down. It's a test. I want to make sure I can shut off light switches properly.
Yeah.
And restock the fridges and whatnot. That's it.
Oh, so okay. So the two friends of mine that passed the detective exam, interestingly, both of them wanted to be called detective because they're like, because it's cool. It's like, you don't think that somebody, when they pass the special agent test at the FBI, that they insist on being called agent or special agent. You don't think so? I'm like, yeah, and that's why the FBI has a reputation for extreme institutional arrogance. I've met some agents that I've interviewed that are for research that are like that, but not many. I mean, God, wait up. Whew, no way.
I have a question. But before that, thank you, Manic, for the donation and the super sticker. I very much appreciate it. What is here? Like, I wonder if it'll show up if I put it here. No, it just says super sticker. Okay. Anyway.
Hey, Manic.
Hi, Manic. What is the difference between regular agent and special agent?
What you're responsible for. It's like SSA is the next one up, supervisory special agent.
Okay.
Yeah. This is what you're responsible for, what you've done. It's ranking. Just ranking.
Brian Walters in the chat. When they ask for my preferred pronouns, I say detective. Okay. Funny story, right? So I used to work at a tech camp. And we would use nicknames because we didn't want to give out our real names. And mine was always the commander.
Punisher says my sister-in-law's former roommate has a cat named Detective Mittens. That's hilarious. I don't know why, but I find that hilarious. Because you see so many cats, or I've heard of so many cats being named things like Mr. something. Mr. Jones, Mr. this, Mr. that. The idea of Detective Mittens is somehow extra funny to me. Thank you, Evolved Potato, for the $5. But Polly, when you get your doctorate, you won't be a real doctor. You'll be Dr. Dubbenstein. No, I won't be a real doctor. It's true. I'll be one of those fake doctors trying to pass off my academic doctorate as some kind of medical certification.
Ooh.
I will. I'll be giving people bad medical advice and all sorts of things. Because
do it. See what happens. See who believes you.
And thank you, Manic, for the $5 with no comment always. But Manic, it's always appreciated. Oh, so the detective people, they're like, oh yeah, when I call up a restaurant, it's like I make the reservation under Detective Jones.
Oh my God.
Seriously. I'm like, you don't. No, yeah, I do. I'm like, man, why?
And we're supposed to take you seriously, like as an actual person.
Yeah, and say like the correct people, like if they say like, oh, Mr. Smith, and it's like Detective Smith.
The only area of life where I can see that being like a thing that I would actually do is like, okay, say I was a detective, right? And say I like a genuine detective. I had a kid, namely like a daughter or whatever. I would make her boyfriend call me detective. All right, not Jones or Miss Jones, not even Weebo or mom. No, it would be detective. Even after they got married, it'd be that asshole. Just be like, welcome to the family. I am the detective, not detective.
Oh, the detective.
The
Gotcha.
detective. Just because, because I like being difficult.
What I sense about it is a need for it's pretension. It's pretense. It's a need for elevation that Mister. Well, anyone's a Mister. I'm detective. And lawyers are the most, in my opinion, transparent about this. They want a particular post-nominal, which they already have, JD, and there's other ones that are associated with it, right? But they go with Esquire, ESQ period. And it's like, oh, well, that means? What?
I didn't know that.
ESQ period is Esquire, yeah. So you'll see like Jane Smith Esquire, and they go, oh, that's a lawyer. That's for a lawyer. No, you fucks. That's for a country squire, an Esquire person. It's somebody of great achievement, and like back in the day, someone of great achievement and renown, and they served in government or whatever, or they served in the military, or they held some academic post, or any combination of all of those things, right? And then they retire, and they retire as so-and-so Esquire, just meaning that's all it implies, is somebody who was of particular standing, but they don't do that kind of stuff anymore. They're retired from it. And it's lawyers being no offense to any lawyers in the room, bunch of arrogant fucking pricks that they are like, that's me, I'm Esquire. And go online, like go to like whitepages.com and look up lawyers over and over and over again, comma ESQ period. Because it's like, I want a post-nominal. Yeah, I know, you arrogant bastards.
Oh, now I gotta.
As the wielders of the law, they think of themselves as the makers of the law. Like they view themselves as extremely empowered in that way. And in a lot of ways they are, but
you know what I'm doing right now? You said ESQ, right?
Yeah.
All right. Because I passed the bar exam, I am now Weebo Jones Esquire.
It means as much as it does when they say it. Anyone can basically call themselves Esquire. It just implies something, right?
Bar certified online silly person. Oh yeah, this is a good time.
So by all means, chat, you want to really piss a lawyer off, call yourself Esquire. And then when they say, oh, well, that's for lawyers, when they know it's not, in their heart of hearts, they just really wish it was. So do you have like a JD, a Juris Doctorate? What do you have, some kind of actual post-nominal, or just that fake made-up one that you've all agreed is yours somehow? Get fucked.
It works. Thank you, Shio, for the donation over on the Streamlabs. What do 2020 and 2016 have in common? The death of a gorilla causing nationwide backlash.
Oof. Oof.
YouTube, that wasn't me. I had to read it. Someone gave me money to read it.
Disavow. Besides, I don't even know what he's talking about. What is that even in reference to, Weebo? Why don't you explain it to us?
I have no idea. Thank you, Assassins of the Grey, for your comment. I would like to address this. You do know what he would be calling you when you're not in the room, right? Yeah, that bitch, my mother-in-law. Yep. Instead of the detective.
Oh man.
Oh, so you heard about my other exciting news too, right, Polly? Like I shared that with you, but I haven't really shared it with very many other people outside of the Discord. Which, by the way, you can join the Discord for our movie and game nights.
Woohoo!
The link is in the description. Just join up, and then, you know, you got to read through the rules to get verified, and then you're in, and we can just organize movie nights and game nights all the live long day. They are flexible in schedule. Reason being is because my schedule has to be flexible at the moment. But hopefully soon enough, we'll have a better idea of like what everyone's availability is, so we can like have those nice evenings be more frequent and more regular. At least that's my hope. But yeah, right now we're just experimenting with stuff.
$5 is what she's getting at. Because if you don't have $5 to give her,
the Discord is free. I pinky swear.
You were saying your exciting news. Go on.
Yes, my exciting news. So I went out on Thursday with El Boyfriendo. We went to the range because, well, I've been talking about my desire to get a gun for a great many moons now. I've had my the ability to do so since 2017, but given the fact that I lived at a school that didn't allow for firearms, I didn't really see a point in having one that I couldn't have on my person. And so it would have been a needless expense at that juncture. However, I had been saving up for a firearm since then. And as a result, I was able to get myself quite a nice firearm. But before I like divulge what it is that I got, I have a story time about my entire adventure getting the.
Oh, I want to hear that. I didn't get to hear the story time. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I was holding that because I wanted to share it with the class. So we get to the actual store itself, and there is a line outside the door. By the way, it is the hottest day of the week, and we are wearing black and jeans because we did not anticipate having to wait for an hour to get into the actual store. Not to buy a gun, but to get into the actual store. It was an hour-long wait. And so we did our waiting. We got there at 3:34, 4 o'clock maybe. Got into the store by around 5. And then they kind of shot us up to the upstairs area, the upstairs lounge where they keep all of the firearms in a nice, like, organized fashion. So you got your Smith & Wesson, you got your Walthers, you got all of your different guns. They're kind of like arranged in order of what company they're coming from, what brand they are, and maybe what style too. So I'm going around and I'm looking, and I have an idea of what I wanted. I had told my dad and my boyfriend that I really wanted a revolver. Yes, for concealed carry, but with the intention that it was going to be like a hammerless snub nose. And obviously I did not get that because you saw it. But that was what I started out looking at. But then I just kind of gravitated around the entire room, and I started looking at other handguns, you know, short barrel with magazines and whatnot, semi-autos. And I'm not really seeing anything that I'm like super in love with. But then again, I also don't know a shit ton about guns, just, you know, on my own, aside from how to shoot them and how to clean them and how to take them apart and, you know, where to stick the barrel. Not at your face, by the way.
I know which end is the business end.
Yeah, which end is the business end. Yeah. And so I pick like 2 and I put them like in my brain, and I get in line to actually talk to one of the people, customer service reps or whatever. The people who are actually selling the guns that you have to talk to get the paperwork filled out. I go up to the line, and that's another like hour. Ugh. So boyfriend and I are waiting and waiting and waiting. And finally we get to the thing. And then the guy takes us both on as like 2 clients at the same time, because he's also buying some firearms and I'm buying some firearms. And so we're going around and he's showing us. He bought 2. He originally wanted only to buy 1, but he bought 2. And by the way, both of his cost less than my 1. And again, you'll see why, because...
By the way, I did not recommend this firearm to Weebo.
No, he didn't.
I didn't. She asked, because I don't like to tell people what to buy, right? She asked, and I said the things that I said, and you know, but make sure whatever it is you pick is the one for you, not because someone else said so, etc. You know, and when she showed me the one that she picked, I was so excited.
Yeah. I was very happy. Anyway, so we get up to the guy, and immediately they start flirting with each other, because that's what the boys in my life do, apparently, is they flirt with each other because they're so shamelessly masculine, I guess. I don't know. They have, like, they're completely comfortable in their masculinity to the point where they're just gonna, you know, piss me off like that. I don't know why.
Okay, anyway, this story took an odd turn.
It did take an odd turn. But so my boyfriend walked out of the gun store with not just 2 guns, but also a 13th
date.
I'm just kidding.
Jesus Christ! All right then.
No, and I'm just kidding. No, but they're talking to each other, and I'm just like standing there thinking to myself, okay, so when do we start talking about guns? Because they're talking about video games, and we've been here for 3 hours already, and I'm like, they're gonna close soon. We gotta buy this quickly. I don't want to leave empty-handed.
I've had this picture ready to show for like 5 minutes now. Weebo, come on. Let's just.
Okay. So he's walking me around and he's giving us his recommendations. And initially, the 2 ones that I picked out, when I picked them up, right, they did fit in my hand. It was a good fit in that respect, but they were like shitty, cheap, and I guess not well made from what the sales rep was telling me. Because he like.
So you were looking at a Springfield and a Glock. Got it.
No, actually, I wasn't.
It was a joke, people. It was
no, but like he got it to make a sound that made it sound like it was really cheaply made too. You know, like the sound.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
You know the sound.
Yeah. When you shake it in your hand, does it rattle like a tin can full of nails? That kind of.
Yeah. So I took that to mean, okay, so my original budget was $600 for a firearm, but I was flexible because I've always gone into things with the intention of, all right, don't buy something just to have it, buy something that's going to last. I've learned this lesson the hard way many times, and I finally started listening to my inner practical person, and I went, all right, we're gonna buy a gun that is gonna be a solid gun, one that's not gonna be shitty, one that's gonna do what I want it to, and one that I actually like to.
This story's longer than Das Boot. Fucking
you keep interrupting, that's why.
No, it's my fault, right? Well, really quick, let me interrupt again. Thank you, Alpha Omega, for the $10 donation. Greatly appreciated. Get that new potato. Hope springs eternal. Yeah, I was looking at some M2 memory cards, but we'll talk about that later because we don't want to extend Weebo's story any fucking longer. Thank you again, Alpha Omega.
So one of the 2 guns that he showed me was the one that I bought, and I'll just talk about that one because, to be quite frank, I can't remember the other one at all.
I kind of wish you did. I was wondering what. Anyway,
it was a revolver. It was, I think.
Oh, was it?
I can't remember specifically what it was. It was a Colt revolver, but So he showed me the Kimber Evo SP, and if you want to bring up the picture because I know you have it ready, right?
I do.
Yeah, he's got it ready.
Share screen. You're sharing 2 monitors. Did you know that? Yes, I did.
Did you? Are you sure?
Well, it's now giving you extra warnings.
Yeah.
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 There she is.
There is my baby. I pick her up on Tuesday. She looks gorgeous. I adore the nice handling right there.
It's fantastic with the cherry wood and the cherry wood look to it.
Yeah.
I love the Evo line. The forward cocking serrations, I don't care what anyone says, they rock. Just great choice for concealed carry, for personal protection, for someone who's got smaller size hands. Like I did not mention this gun at all, and this is what she came away with, and I was like, holy shit, you've got great taste. And you know why she has great taste? Like, in addition to it being a great gun.
Why? I'd love to hear this.
Here's waiting for it to come on, fucker, reload. All right, let me just hit refresh. There's my gun. Weebo and I are Kimber siblings. We
are Kimbered spirits.
Kimbered spirits.
Get it? That was nice fun.
That is the crown jewel of all my firearms. That is my Kimber 1911 stainless steel Target 2 in 45 ACP. Because anything less is just what the hell, man. So as soon as she sent me that picture, and I even because it comes with the black hard rubber grips, I bought the aftermarket cherry wood grips, actual cherry wood. because I just thought it looked slick on the stainless steel like that, and it does. And it's like, look at that. Weebo's got like the oh man, see, this is why I need it. See, Weebo's got like the little girly version of the same gun. Isn't it great?
I paid almost $1,000 for that thing, and I could have gotten the cheaper version that looked like an ugly two-tone black and white. It was not for me.
No,
the
color looks slick as fuck.
Yeah,
you made the right choice. It looks slick as fuck.
Yeah,
I mean, I paid what, 1050, 1075, I think, for that. But then I changed out the and there's the 4 cocking serrations. I don't care what anybody says, they rock. And then
I was a little bit nervous though, picking out the gun and not being able to shoot it, because like I said, the line was super fucking long. I wasn't going to be able to like test shoot anything at all. So I had to pick a gun and be like, I pray that it was actually genuinely decent. So I went home and I looked up my what I bought, and it turns out I made an excellent decision accidentally. So I'm okay with this, because like the first video I saw, the guy shooting it and he's like 1,000 rounds still hasn't jammed up, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, because that was one of my main concerns. That
Kimber came out with a gun a while back called the Kimber Solo, and people had problems with it, and it had problems itself. They redesigned the gun completely from the ground up, and that's the Evo series. And you got the slickest looking one, no question. But it's I've never fired one, but I've played with it repeatedly and felt the trigger pull on it and everything. It's so crisp and clean and smooth. Like it. Oh man, yeah.
The trigger action on that baby is.
And it's great for home defense and for concealed carry. It's the right size for concealed carry, and you can get a revolver later, like you said. But excellent choice. I thoroughly approve.
I'm so happy about this, and I pick it up on Tuesday, and I'm gonna hopefully get some range time in either this week or next week. Boyfriend is taking his friend on Wednesday, but I'd like to go again with him. It takes 9mm, by the way, so a little bit bigger than I originally intended to. I was going to go with a 380, just because I am small. I am very small, and I felt what what my hand receiving 9mm action feels like. It's a bit aggressive, but I think I'll have to just get used to it, because I do really like this gun. The way that it feels in my hand is very nice. And you know what? 9mm probably best for self-defense, I'm thinking. Although
not really, but
it's better than maybe a 380.
Oh, it's better than a 380, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can get into endless fucking conversations when it comes to the caliber debate. It's people argue over it, you know. No, 357 single, fuck that 9mm, man. Modern engineering is closed the performance gap. No, 45 forever. Oh, what are you, fucking 100 years old? Fuck 45. The debate goes on forever. It'll never end.
I gotta read a Streamlabs from Shio. Oh boy.
Sure.
From Not Shio. Sorry. Thank you, Not Shio, for your donation. I'm supposed to say this in an exaggerated lispy gay voice. Damn, girl! Are you a cop? Because you took my breath away. Anyway.
And Duck Dog says, Kimber is overpriced horse shit. Not an uncommon opinion. Not an uncommon opinion. A lot of people really don't like Kimber at all. So it's the way that it is.
I was a little bit nervous when I read up about it initially. Like the guy started the video that I was watching off by saying that Kimber, hadn't impressed people in the past, and that he was actually surprised by the gun itself and how fantastic it was when he was shooting it. I'm like, oh, thank you. But I'm a little bit. I wouldn't when I buy my next gun, I'm not going to do it the same way that I did it this time, in the sense that, I'm not going to not test out certain firearms before I actually them, because that's just not the way that I function. I definitely want to do some test fires before I actually invest. Of course, I wasn't given that option because all of the world came out on Thursday to buy guns, apparently, and for obvious reasons. the world is burning, so obviously people are going to be investing in firearms more. And I should have realized that.
The world is burning.
The world is burning. I should have realized that before I was like, all right, I'm going to go buy a firearm on Thursday.
Oh, really quick, Alpha Omega, thank you again for the $10 donation. What do we have to do to get an otter in a zoot suit avid? Fuck. You know what? You make a really good point, Alpha Omega. I got so caught up in doing the Godfather otter, like him in like a tuxedo sitting in a chair petting a cat, that I forgot about the zoot suit otters. So I'm making a fucking note to myself right now. Zoot suit. What do you have to do? Remind me, I guess would be the answer. But I got to get on that because I want like with the big hat and the feather and the ballooning Punjab looking pants, the whole zoot suit effect. Yeah, definitely. And you see the argument pop off between caliber debates and stuff like that. And then there's like the reasonable opinion in the center from Sakano. Each caliber has its own use and what you want it for. Very true. Very true. I don't like getting into the caliber debate because it's like they all have their uses, advantages, and disadvantages. If anybody tells you a certain caliber doesn't have any disadvantages and it's the king of them all, they're overstating their point. Like every caliber has its reasons. Some are better than others. It depends on what you're doing. Imagine a tool chest that had one tool in it. Like there's good universal tools, but that means it's not going to be particularly good at any one job, right?
Right. So you need to get more than one gun that fires, all of the calibers.
Well,
so you have a tool for every occasion.
Which is
in the event that you need it.
By the way, one of the reasons that I like the move that is happening now in handguns towards modularity, like the 6 Hour 320, the 320 is very similar to a previous gun that they came out with, et cetera, et cetera. I'm not trying to get into the details. I'm just talking about the internal chassis modularity design that is not original to 6 Hour. I get that, but that guns are moving in that direction of interchangeable calibers, interchangeable chassis between frames and slides and stuff. This is slick. This is where I want to see things go, because the last big changeover in handguns was polymer frames, and everybody doubted their usefulness at the beginning. And Glock wasn't the first one to have a polymer framed handgun, but they certainly popularized the fuck out of it and demonstrated the use of the material. That's why I want to see, like you were just saying, Weebs, that's what made me think of that. It's like, you want a gun that you can interchange between calibers. Yeah, like you can with AR uppers. I want to see this modularity happen. And the first time you're seeing it happen in a popular fashion is with the SIG 320. And I'm like, yes, I want to get into the 320 game.
See, now you're talking at definitely above my level of understanding, because I'm a very noob individual when it comes to guns. I just bought my first firearm, Poly, all right?
It's fine.
I only just learned the difference between the calibers.
I just noticed this. Ryan Walters said, shouldn't the Godfather otter be petting a clam? Probably. And then BG says, so when are you going to get an otter in a Star Trek uniform picture? You know what? I don't know why I didn't think of that before you mentioned it.
Well, now you have to make it happen.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me just put a little extra note to myself here.
Mm-hmm. You're going to write it down on a sticky note in the Weebo fashion?
No, I use like stickies, like in Windows stickies.
Yeah, I never check those. Ever.
Well, if you kind of forget they're there.
Yeah, I do.
I mean, you check your whatchamacallit all the time, don't you? Your schedule?
Yeah, but that's because I've made a habit of checking it. I haven't made a habit of checking my stickies. But the only reason I have a habit of checking my notes and my calendars is because I always check my calendars. So, I mean, there has to be a habit already. And there's just not. Gulf City Peterbilt Confederacy. But the bank account, you right. Which is why, I will definitely not do what boyfriend has been doing and going gun crazy at this juncture, because I think he bought his gun in his first gun ever in January of this year, and he already has amassed a total of 7, which is
that's pretty quick. This.
Like, that's including the 2 that he bought that he won't get until Tuesday this week.
So did you narrow down what revolvers you did and didn't like? Did you get to handle a few?
I got to handle 2. I can't remember. I think one was a Smith & Wesson and the other was a Colt. And one, I think it was the Colt was the one that felt better in my hand as opposed to this Smith & Wesson, which just felt chunky. Like it felt like, but I think that's because the grip was a little bit thicker than it needed to be. Not because the gun itself was too big. I don't know. I have to go back and look at it because I don't know. I feel like everything else after I bought the gun is kind of, or before I bought the gun was like kind of a haze because there was a lot of waiting around. It kind of dampened the excitement factor for me, and I was just like, oh, come on.
But wait a minute, wait. I've watched MSNBC and CNN. You walk in, you give them the money, they ask you no questions, you walk out with the gun. It's dangerous as hell. Children can buy firearms.
Oh, God, no. God, no. All right, you want me to tell you what I had to do in order to get my gun? I had to wait in line to get into the actual store for an entire fucking hour. I had to go upstairs, and I had to look at the cases, and then I had to get in line to actually talk to a person in order to hold a gun. And then I had to actually, like, present them with my proper identification in order to hold a gun. Because in my state, you have to have the proper identification to even be, like, handed an unloaded firearm just to look at it. And then I had to,
not even including the federal form for the instant background check system.
Yeah. And then I had to be like, all right, I want that one. And he had to go, he grabs the gun, he takes it to the back room, brings all the paperwork out in the case and whatnot, and has me fill it all out. And then he takes the gun back because they put it on, like, I think it's layaway or whatever for 72 hours after you purchase it. But first I had to go up to the front, pass the background check after I'd filled out all of the paperwork associated with it and pay down payment. And so I go in Tuesday after 72 hours, which is definitely over 72 hours because of, like, closing times and whatnot. And then I have to pay all the money and then I get the gun. So it's not, you get in, you drop some cash, you grab the gun, you get out. It's so much more complicated than that. Not something I had to actually get my identification card prior to that, which is another 10 days on top. So you can't just decide one day, oh, I want to buy a gun, and then 72 hours later, hey, bam, you got one.
Well, 72. I mean, like I said, I'm going to pound away on fucking news entertainers because they piss me off. I've watched Don Lemon talk about it. It's like, yeah, anybody could just walk into a store and get an AR-15. It's insane. Like I've heard him. I've not just him, but that is the presentation because it's a useful narrative. You know what I mean? And BG says, well, between the lockdown and the riots, gun ownership is through the roof. It's gotten to the point that liberals even understand the reason for the Second Amendment. They may understand it, BG, and I understand what you're saying. And the gun stores are cleared out. Ammunition is unavailable because everyone went and bought. And even liberals that we're talking about, oh, no one in a civilized society needs any reason for a gun. You can't hunt with an assault weapon, et cetera, et cetera.
Right? Are you sure about that?
Well, they're not going to change their tone. It's like they may understand it, but they're not going to say that they do. Ideology above all else, right? It's the messaging. Like even now, like I actually believe that a news entertainer will go out, buy a fucking gun and a whole bunch of ammunition for it, and then go do a report that night on how we need to prohibit guns because they're dangerous. I think that they are that bad with it. Absolutely. I don't trust the fucking lot of them, man. There's a reason there's supposed to be a free press. It's not. You get certain people from corporate media that are fucking millionaires, like with 6-figure salaries, believing that the free press clause of the First Amendment refers to them specifically and particularly, that unless you're hired by one of the acronym news agencies, you don't count as an actual journalist. That's not the point. Free press means literally that. Somebody who's like Tim Pool, you may like him, you may not like him, he counts as a journalist. because he's attempting to do news. They really believe that, I'm going to wrap myself up in the free press clause, and this refers to me and only me. And it's no, other people can criticize you, and it's like, oh well, you're this is undermining the credibility of the press when you criticize us. Nowhere in there are you free from criticism, because other people are engaging in their right of the free press to criticize you. News entertainers really view themselves as an elite class, a protected group of individuals.
I'm out.
All right.
Thank you, Alpha Omega, for donating over to the Streamlabs. Glad to support you. I enjoy your content. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I aim to please. So if ever there is a problem, just don't hesitate to let me know that there is a problem. Also, Ryan Walters doesn't think I'm illegally purchasing my firearms correctly.
No.
Believe that? No, I'm not. Apparently, I need to up my game. Fact is, I don't know how to illegally purchase a firearm, so I don't know where I would even begin to do that. You know what I need to get now? I'm gonna have a bitch of a time doing it, but I need like a jeans holster for the actual gun itself, like something that I can clip on the inside of my pants. Because the end game, right, for a self-defense weapon is concealed carry. Because my state does not have open carry, so. Unfortunately,
well,
I don't have that luxury.
Jesus Christ. It's rough picking an inside the waistband holster. Mm-hmm. A lot of people have found it rough because you buy them and they're relative to the gun, they're inexpensive. You know what I mean? So you go through all these ones trying to find one that fits the best, works the best. Do you want one that is permanently inside, like meaning like as you run your belt loop through it or whatever, it's there, or like you said, that can clip in and outside, different things. I like crossbreed holsters personally, but then there's DeSantis, oh my god, there's so many dozens of great holster companies out there that it just goes on and on. So and as a woman you have extra options, because there's like bra carry and etc.
I don't think I want to have to put up with bra carrying. I think I'm just gonna go with the simple, pants holster.
And you're gonna go with the classic holster position.
Yeah, because I'm used to, well, not classic holster, probably in the front area, because I don't have any dangly bits to worry about in that area.
Well, no, but you do have an ephemeral artery.
True.
I mean, yes. I mean, there's a whole other thing, man. People on YouTube beef over that incessantly. Appendix carry. It's like, oh, you want to shoot your nuts off? Well, it's not. You're not worried about your nuts. It's shooting yourself in the leg in any kind of way. And it's like, well, isn't that the whole point of a holster, that the gun is
securely put away?
The trigger is covered, and it's like, why would you even take the fucking risk? It's set. And people go back and forth on it. Is it safe? Is it not?
I think it's relatively safe because I don't think it'll go off if I'm not jingling around, while in pants.
Shio says, I mean, Polly, you could bra holster too. I could. It's true. You know what? you know what's the underrated thing is if you have a zipper hoodie, like the one that I have on right now.
Yeah.
A shoulder holster, like what a shoulder holster is, Weebs?
Like
the thing that goes over and around, and like so the gun ends up being holstered underneath your arm.
Yeah. So like right here.
Yeah. Right here. You don't need to wear a suit jacket if you're wearing a zippered hoodie. It's shoulder holsters are extremely comfortable and a really cool way to carry.
I use leather jackets, so
there you go. But then you always have the chance of the jacket like flopping open and then somebody's seeing it, and then you kind of blew the whole concealed thing. But if you're carrying on your hip, as soon as you lean over to tie your shoe or pick anything up, you're printing, and there you're going to find that when you start concealed carrying, that's what everybody gets obsessed with, and ends up focusing on a lot. It's like, am I printing? Meaning, is it poking through my shirt? Can people see it?
Mm-hmm. See, that's where being a woman who circus tents quite often comes in handy, because I don't have to worry about it if it's like, if I'm wearing, because I usually wear pretty loose shirts, so I can hide it pretty well.
Well, Alpha Omega says the inner thigh holster. Yeah, you know what? It's well, maybe I've seen too many movies. No. The garter holster is awesome. I have many pictures up over at Noir Bar where there's ladies pulling guns out of their garter holsters. So don't overlook it, weebs.
I almost got the little mini guy, the mini 22s, you know, the ones like the adorable little 22s that you can strap onto your thigh.
Oh, yeah.
That prostitutes used to wear. Just because I don't know, I do really, really want one just because I think they're so adorable.
They are. Like, I mean, yeah, I understand what you're talking about. But in North American Arms makes a bunch of great ones, 22 Magnum and so forth. But go 45 long Colt, go with a 44 Magnum, under the table shooter. But in the modern era, there's really no reason to even go with a little gun like that because you can get like the ultra flat, like Ruger LCPs.
Yeah. He showed me those too.
Yeah. I mean, they're so, when you can have 6+1 rounds of 380 ACP and a short little 10-ounce fucking LCP that are running for like $250. Why the fuck not? Put
that thing in your pocket and don't worry about it.
Hell yeah. Yeah. And there's another thing. People like, is pocket carry safe? It's like, we're not talking about Mexican carrying, which is an actual nickname when they call it when you're carrying a gun without a holster. Is nicknamed Mexican carry. Well, it's like a New York reload. Do you know what a New York reload is, Weeb?
I do not. You gotta have to explain it to me.
It's when you, instead of like reloading by putting in another magazine, when your gun runs empty of rounds, you pull another gun because you've got more than one. That's the New York reload.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever seen a John Woo film? That's
okay.
Chow Yun-Fat is famous for dropping his 2 Beretta 92s and pulling out 2 other Beretta 92s.
All right, I want to show the audience what it is that I am talking about because someone just told me exactly what it is specifically that the name of the gun is. But yeah, no, go away. This is kind of similar to what it was that I was looking at the store. But I don't think it was a single shot. It did actually have like, what's the rotatory thing called on a revolver? The revolving bit?
The cylinder.
The cylinder. There we go.
The rotatory. I like that. Let's start calling it the rotatory.
Yeah, it did actually have the cylinder on it. I think this is just a single shot, right?
Well, they're usually double barreled, like they're break action. So they're 2-shot.
Ooh, look at that's adorable too. I want that.
Oh yeah.
But they're so cute. They're adorable.
I know.
Oh, and an extra big one.
I mean, see, that's a North American Arms one, isn't it? God, so small on my screen.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
But yeah, I only want this for the cuteness factor, not because I think it's practical.
No, they're fucking fantastic little guns, man. There's like North American Arms makes a one that's in 22 Magnum and 22 LR that does have a very small cylinder on it, and it's single action. Great little fucking gun. I'd like one just for fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's like great imagery, like you said, like the prostitutes used to wear. I know you're having like 1880s on a gambling steamboat ship paddling down the Mississippi.
Well, no, actually, my first thought was Jonah Hex when
all right,
face. She's the girl from Transformers, but she's got the garter gun, the really tidy one shot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I'm getting that from, and obviously she was a prostitute. Oh, what was her name? Fuck, do you remember, Polly? It's like
no
Meg something. Oh gosh. Megan Fox. Thank you, Ryan Walters.
Yeah, I thought you meant like the character in the movie's name.
No.
Fucking Megan Fox.
I think it's Lucy.
Plastic Lady. What? She wasn't pretty enough for her own standards to begin with. Have you seen what she looks like before and after all her plastic surgery? Her face looks actually stretched and melted in a weird way.
Oh, now we need to look at this because I'm curious. I am very curious. Images for Megan Fox surgery. Okay. Ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, toe thumb, Lion Patriot says that's her.
Toe thumb. Okay, so this is her before. This is her after. Oh, okay. Yeah, she looks different.
Those are not, I mean, the after picture there is kind of complimentary when you see her from different angles. Like I've seen ones where it's just like, oh my God, woman, look at your fucking face.
Original. Now. Original. Now. She doesn't even look like Megan Fox, like in any of these actual pictures. Okay, maybe this one. That's what I regard as Megan Fox.
See, like on the right side, like it looks like somebody's digital art.
Look, nose.
Yeah.
Look, nose.
Well, see, you made a big deal out of it when I, talked about the MCU ladies getting their nose jobs. Now they should have just left their fucking faces alone.
Now I can't unsee it. Polly!
I know.
Polly! You've ruined it for me.
It's like, that's all I see when I look at Natalie Portman. The fuck did you do to yourself? Why?
Maybe she just got punched in the face really hard. I don't know.
Oh, Natalie Portman with her nose job? No, she wanted the fucking...
No. Megan Fox.
Oh my God, look at her there. Oof.
They don't even look like the same person, though.
I know. It's
all
weird.
Judging women.
Richard Art says, guys, can y'all see my messages? I'm actually still fucking on Top Chat, but yeah, I've been seeing your messages.
I can see it too.
Rich took up the mantle of drawing the Zoot Suit Otter. I'm looking forward to it. If you guys haven't gone over to Richard Art's channel, I end up lurking when he's doing live stream drawings. I haven't seen one in a while, though. Has it been a while since he's done one, or am I just not getting the notifications? I don't know. I'm assuming that YouTube's at fault because they usually are.
Hang on. I just got to make sure that I'm not getting a text about work, because I didn't actually get a specific time to come in, because where I work doesn't actually have a close time, like a call time. It's just whenever people decide to go is when it is that we close the bar, and that's that, which is going to make it super difficult to actually plan a few things out sometimes.
Oh, Rich says my laptop is shit, so I can't live stream. Got it. Got it.
All right, guys, go over to Rich and let's crowdfund him a new laptop too. All right, on top of Polly and his hamster that we're getting him. We need to get Rich a new laptop.
Formerly Rodline says, congratulations for getting out of prison. Next time, don't look a comic book store. Oh,
huh?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
You were in prison?
What? No. Kind of missed the gist.
Is that out of left field for you too? Because
little bit.
All right, cool.
I'm sure there's meaning there. I'm just not grasping it.
Those are always my favorite comments to get. That's the ones that you don't know what's going on.
Well, what usually ends up happening there is that somebody's referring to my own stream lore that I've forgotten, and it's God damn it, I do remember that, and it sucks. Someone had to remind me of it.
There's a lot of stream lore because you're on stream quite frequently. At least once a week, if not twice, right? And sometimes
think about what you just said. You're on a stream once, if not twice a week. Ooh. There's people that stream 25, 30, 40 hours a week.
Yeah, I know that. But like okay, so I stream at least once a week too, right?
Right.
That's a lot of streaming time. That's at least 2 hours once a week, every week for X amount of weeks. And that's
the lore can build up. Yeah.
It does build up, especially if you've been doing it for long enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's inside jokes that go on a cocktail hour, but Noir Bar is like a fucking lore fest on purpose because it's supposed to be that way. It's supposed to be like full of shtick and stuff like that. Like, remember, I'm the time traveling bartender Otter that has had his establishment that exists in 1942 stolen from him by an Australian girl. It just goes on and on.
So that's where we're at in the lore.
Yeah.
I should write this down and put it on IMDb because there's no way that it's going to get straightened out if not.
Do a fanon. Do it.
Because there used to be a guy or someone, I don't know if it was a guy or girl, but someone who updated the IMDb pages for Lords of the Night. And then I went ahead and I took inspiration from that. And I did that for Side Quest. And, no one's done it for Cocktail Hour yet. So I'm sad.
Well, somebody took up that task. I I will openly admit complete fucking ignorance. I don't know how IMDb works at all. Like, do you have to get registered as an editor, or is that really easy to do, or is it not easy? I have no idea what's involved there, but somebody.
It's more complicated than it should be, and or it's
somebody created a page for me and you and other people and put entries in there, like comic book curations there. I think Noir Bar's there, or maybe it's not, but like individual episodes and stuff. And it's like, I don't even know who was doing that, but it's like, thanks, man or girl. That's awesome. And it's got lots of detail and stuff. It's just, I have no idea how to even go about that kind of shit.
I can't remember how to do it. I did it once for side quests, and then I was like, oh gosh, I cannot. Yeah, someone did it for Minions of the Zoo as well. The One Ton Hammer has an IMDb page. I think that's, I don't know, that's the sweetest thing. And the audiences that do that are.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, I wish I knew who did that, because I would say, thanks, guy or girl. That's fucking cool. I didn't even think of doing something like that.
Much
Rodline was just messing with me, and you succeeded because I was just confused. I wouldn't want somebody to have to go through and work with the Noir Bar lore, especially because it's time travel's involved and things get complicated really, really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only place that I'm an actual editor is on Memory Alpha, the Star Trek wiki.
Editor on? Oh, I was gonna say you're not even an editor on Wikipedia, but
no,
wiki is kind of similar.
That used to be easier to do. Now it's not as easy to become an editor because of all the vandalism and especially politics that are going on. And you can tell there's certain things, like there's certain pages that are just straight up locked from editing. That it's certain people that take over them. And let me tell you something. I did back in the day edit some Wikipedia pages because they were just factually incorrect, and I linked them to actual sources. The page originator has the ability to revert any changes that you make if they don't like the changes that you make, because they're the ones who started the page. Yeah, they'll just revert it immediately. And it's like, then you have to go, and I don't know if you guys have ever done it, but in the top right-hand corner on Wikipedia, on any wiki, it'll say talk page, and you can see all the arguments back and forth where it's like, but it's actually correct. And the originator will often just say, fuck you, I don't like it, because they want a particular angle, or they want it to sound a particular way or whatever. That's why
that's nice to have that transparency. Like, oh, well,
the talk pages there, yes. And it does kind of stop people from, you know, they got wiki vandalizing, right? Like just changing your page that you can quickly revert it. But then it also allows people to just run control on it, where it's they're going to put up a page on like let's say you're the originator of the Donald Trump 2016 presidential campaign page. You get to whatever you want to write that story to be, you control it. And anybody who changes it. Now you can't bring in, there are senior editors for Wikipedia that if you're really being blatant with what you're doing, they can sort of quote overrule you. But that's why the first changes over on Star Trek, I only have one thing as an editor over on Memory Alpha. It's keep your fucking politics out of my fucking entertainment. And people are constantly trying to inject politics into Star Trek over there. Like, this is evidence that transphobia in the future still exists because blah, 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 blah. And it's like, man, keep your current day politics out of my sci-fi, bro.
Okay. Actually, fun fact, you know, my old roommate, Balik, he was a Wikipedia editor. As of like last year, he was still one. I don't know if he still is now, but yeah, he was telling me all about the process behind it and like how you actually get to have a Wikipedia page and like the standards for having one and such. It revolves around the amount of sources. Like a famous person, in order to qualify to have a Wikipedia page, you have to have X amount of news articles, like independent news sources referencing you. In order to have your own independent submission, I guess. Because I was asking him, why did my Wikipedia page get taken down if someone else made it for me? And he's like, this is why. Because I had a Wikipedia page once upon a time, all of maybe 48 hours before it nixed.
Right. Evolve Potato says, I'm going to try and do a Noir Bar IMDb just to insult you. I can see that. It's this filthy degenerate runs this bar and in his delusional mind believes he's in the past.
No, is willfully living in the past.
Yeah, in his otter persona and so forth. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it.
Well, you give them so much material to work with, to be fair.
The otter thing, like as a spirit animal or avatar or whatever depiction, that was before people really, and including me and people, really found out just how sick furries are.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, where you don't want to have like an animal representation, just as like I said, joking spirit animal, or just an avatar. It's just a depiction. People are like, you're not one of them furries, are you? And it's like, God, no. I had no idea the fucking depravity in that fucking group of people, man. Like anyone who watches Deadwing Dork, Deadwing Dork is awesome, by the way. You should be watching his streams if you're not. Son of a bitch.
I thought you were gonna continue on with that.
No, I was just shaking my head in disgust, thinking back over some of the things that I've seen on Deadwing's stream. Like, man, those people are ill. You think it goes as far as yiffing? No, a hell of a lot further than that.
So he's got a lot of furries in his fandom?
No.
Or he talks about them.
Like there's a lot of weird, sick people on YouTube that just fly below the radar, more or less. And he's like, let's just look at some of the sick, laughable, strange, bizarre, different things that go on. The woman whose child committed suicide, her son committed suicide, and now she channels him and charges for the psychic advice that her departed channeled son now offers her.
This is a very specific example, I feel. What?
No, I mean, just that's one example of like, he did a stream. Let's go check out what this woman is saying on her website and what's going on. Channeling Ryan, I believe is his name. His name, whatever.
Okay.
So, I mean, just, is that depravity? It's bizarre and it's strange and it seems so weird. And like when you watch this woman talk about these things, as one example, and then he did another stream looking into the people who believe 5K towers are spreading the coronavirus, or 5G towers rather, are spreading the coronavirus.
Okay, wait, hang on, because I've heard something about that, but I'm not entirely sure what that exactly like means. How did that come about? I guess. Do you know? Also, what's the logic behind that?
Their logic is fantastic. They're like, they will buy on, like one guy bought online a LED street lamp, took it apart, and argued how, see this piece of circuitry in here and this attachment to this board, this is what warps your DNA to make you more susceptible to the COVID-19 virus. And it's like, what? And Adonis Paul's in chat. No one's buying it, Giga.
Hi, AP.
Or maybe that's AP and what's up, bro? You never know. You never know.
Are you sure? I wonder, have we cleared him? Have we looked him up? Have we gone to said channel and been like...
But you can't anymore. When you right click on the 3 dots beside someone's name, you can't go to their channel.
What? You can't do that anymore?
No. And you haven't been able to for a while. So it's like, how do you know? Well, that's why Giga has so much fucking fun.
Oh, no. Okay. I didn't realize that was the case. Because I was like, oh, you could just easily go to the person's channel through the thingy with the stuff. No, you can't do that anymore. What? How long have I been off? How long have I been out? What?
It's been like that for months. Like, oh, wow. And it's kind of a piss off because sometimes you just want to go to someone's channel to, I'm not Giga. Exactly what Giga would say.
Mm-hmm. God damn. I must not be like super in touch regarding streams and whatnot because I didn't realize that. It's been a few months. Wow. Okay, you guys are making me feel like I'm out of touch. I'm nervous.
Yeah, I don't know why they got rid of it. They also got rid of the thing where you will, in your recommends, you can click on a video and say not interested, and you used to be able to block the channel basically by saying I do not want anything more from this given channel. Now, nope. I don't really think it does anything anymore when you click on not interested.
Interesting. You know, okay, to be fair, the last couple of months I've been a little bit disconnected from like YouTube itself. Not in terms of creating content, but in terms of like absorbing it. I haven't been doing as well as I used to. As much as I used to, because I've been focusing on graduating, or I was focusing on graduating, focusing on getting a job, focusing on all of this other stuff, and like kind of enjoying my free time and my summer a little bit more. So I've been distracted, unfortunately, which is probably why.
Social media is life, Weebs. What are you doing?
No, sorry, I have a life outside of the internet. Unfortunately for you guys. And actually, to be quite frank, it's not that I have a life outside of like my computer. It's just that I've been spending more time like gaming with you guys and watching movies with you guys and doing work for the channel, for the, you know, stuff. I haven't been distracted by, say, like the likes of Sofane, which typically render me a hot pile of garbage sometimes when I get super like frustrated with some of his hot takes online. By the way, I'm starting to wonder if he's just like ingenuine about some of the things he says on Twitter. Like if he actually means half the shit he actually says.
Ingenuine.
Yeah.
Because that's a word.
It is. It is.
Furious typing ensues.
Ingenuine, adjective, comparative, more ingenuine, superlative, more ingenuine, false, not genuine, or
this is
authentic.
The time with the scalp itching. Remember, just you're being.
So yes, I don't think that a lot of the things that he says are with a genuine ire towards the people he's saying them to. I think he's just doing it to get a rise out of people, essentially trolling, which means that he's wasting timeline space, I guess.
Yeah. It's beyond a point other than just laughter to me. You know what I mean? Like you can't, why, you know, Sofane, he pushes it so hard. I don't understand. Like, it's like, oh God, look at his new take. You're taking the guy in floppy shoes with the squirting flower seriously and wondering why his pratfalls are happening like they are. No, it's at most entertainment. Just take it for that and only that. That's my call on it. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, but for a moment there, I don't know. It's to such a level that it is consistent and it's without break in character. At least on Twitter. I don't know about the actual streams that they do because I don't watch Poisoning the Well streams. No shade, I just don't. I don't have an endless amount of time to just go around from stream to stream to stream, and I barely even get to the streams that I do want to watch. But yeah, it's pervasive to the point where it doesn't break character. And for a moment there, I did wonder if it was genuine what it was that he was voicing on the internet, and then like I don't know, the ire was directed at me and I didn't say or do anything that deserved it. And you know, I met him in real life, so I didn't realize, or I didn't think that it would be directed so viscerally at myself in the way that it was. And then when it was, I was like, the fuck did I do to deserve this? Is this just the way that he is now? Like, what happened? Who hurt you? Show me on the doll where the mean man touched you in the pee-pee square.
There's fair enough. I mean, fair concern, but I mean, I've seen that happen to a number of people that I liked watching their streams and their edited videos back in the day, and they turned making fun of things to, they got deadly serious with it, you know, and their fun time streams turned into gripe streams where it's like, What happened to the comedy and the fun and this was supposed to be entertaining. I don't know. AP says play with him. That's how he plays. If he's actually doing it for entertainment value, there are a lot of people taking him way too seriously. Because I watch a number of streams where people will respond to things that he says with like, they'll start deconstructing and going, let me tell you why he's wrong in this particular way. Like, I don't think that's the way to take somebody who's trying to get your goat, and then obviously he's being successful at it.
I just stopped engaging altogether because, it got to the point where he accused me of sea lioning because I was making a point, and I'm like, no, this is it. This is an actual point. I'm genuine in this. I'm not trolling you. I promise. And it just, I don't know. It irked me a little bit because I try to, I can joke with my audience and I control my audience. Definitely. I can troll, not control. I can troll my audience. It's not a big deal, but that's not the only personality that I have on the internet, or that's not the only thing that it is that I do with my platforms. It's a little bit more dynamic. There's fluctuation. It's
right.
That. And I'm wondering at what point Fane decided to go from like someone who enjoyed communicating with his audience to someone who wanted to piss off all of the audience. Because a lot of what he says is very polarizing, and so you're only getting half of what perspective that you could be getting in any capacity. Because there is a nice middle ground, but no. And my understanding was that Poisoning the Well was supposed to be, on the up and up in terms of content creation and, producing stuff.
Well, producing stuff, right? Big time video work. They're very interested in the technical side of it, the cameras.
And the building up a community too, like getting the
views
and then the subs and whatnot.
And drinking like fish on stream, which I can totally appreciate. But then it kind of turned, I don't know, Fane online turned like a lot more serious, where it's like, this is getting oddly gripey. Like, here's my issue at this political thing, and let me tell you why these people are wrong. And are you looking for people to take issue with what you said? Because that's the way it seems. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But for those of you who missed it, AP was talking about RoboCop at 9 over on D Live. I was watching the Blunt stream last night, and there was a minute where I thought he was actually going to be playing RoboCop 2, and I got excited because RoboCop 2, in my opinion, is really underrated. Have you seen RoboCop 2, Weebs?
No.
It's hated on. Like, people talk about it like it's RoboCop 3, and it's not. It's written by the inimitable Frank Miller, who's like my favorite comic book creator of all time. And he wrote that script to be weird with this new drug called Nuke, and the Nuke Lord ends up having his brain put into the replacement for the original RoboCop 2, and they end up fighting it out. That movie's sick. It's a great film.
Okay.
So anyway, I got excited there for a minute, and it's like, oh, it's going to be RoboCop, which, hey man, the original RoboCop is what, 1987? Is fucking legendary. I'm happy to watch it, but God, it was so close. I thought we were going to get RoboCop 2 with AP.
Citron over on the super chat says, Fane's block list is too big to just be trolling. I haven't seen it, so I don't know, but it's conceivable that it is pretty big because he does talk about it a lot, and apparently he does have a number of people who.
Does he run a big block list, blockchain, what have you?
I don't think that's it. I think he just blocks people that interact with him.
Okay, so he's not straight up blockchaining. Okay.
I don't know if I've actually seen RoboCop. Like, I can't remember having seen it yet.
Really?
But
oh man, lucky you, because you get to see it for the first time. The irreverentness, the unnecessary violence, Ed 209, the whole thing is just fucking yeah. Great film, great action film. And people are talking about like how Frank Miller's original script got butchered. Yeah, he wrote a number of original Hollywood scripts, and when you see him in interviews talking about how badly they mangled a lot of his work, but the original script for RoboCop 2 was turned in like a graphic novel, and when you read his original vision of what he wanted for RoboCop 2, you find out, man, Frank is twisted in a really wonderful way. The guy has just the wildest imagination. So if you want to know what he originally intended, you can find out.
Okay. I will definitely go looking for that. Or you could send me a link and spare me the the need to go looking.
Well, you know what? Where are we at with the movie trades anyway? Is it my turn or your turn?
It's your turn. That's what I was just about to ask you is have you picked out a good movie for our next movie night?
What was my last?
So you watched Coco. It was a Pixar
That's right, because that was your
movie.
choice.
Coco. It was very sad and it made you cry.
And
it made
I remember it being, I really thought it was going to be, it was way better than I thought it was going to be. But before that, we did The Departed.
Yeah, we did The Departed before.
Oh yeah, fuck. And I was happy that you got that was more than just gangster violence. That there's layers to that film. The anxiety, the tension, the conspiracy, the intrigue. Yeah, fucking hell yeah, Scorsese. Well, I was really thinking about The Town from 2010.
The Town.
Yeah. Because remember I was telling you about the deep dive that we could do on Heat, but that would take multiple viewings because there's watching 1995 Heat, but then there's Michael Mann's original made-for-TV movie LA Takedown. That's a cut-down, abbreviated version of what they made in 1995. We got to do a deep dive on Heat when I've got like 3 films worth of credit built up. We'll do The Town from 2010. That fucking fantastic film.
Okay.
And it's got Rebecca Hall, one of the sexiest women ever put 2 feet on planet Earth. So that's a great thing.
All right. So we'll do The Town and then we'll come up with a good enough date that works for the both of us.
Sure.
I think a bird just crashed into my window.
What does that sound like other than the thump?
And then you see it fall because it gets stunned.
Is there a splat on the window?
No splat, because they're not flying at a fast enough velocity that it would actually, cause them to combust. But I've seen birds that died because they broke their necks hitting the window. Unfortunately, it's actually really depressing. And then I've seen them be stunned simply. So it really depends at what angle it is that they're flying at, how fast. It's scary though too, because you don't expect it, and of course they don't expect it. Because why would they expect a window to be there? They don't even know what a window is.
So you're reminding me of the campus rules, the campus policies in and around protected bird species, because it's a university campus and they got to be all touchy-feely about everything, right? So it's birds will crash into windows because, I don't know, they see the sky reflected in it. That's what people guess. And so they slam into it. And it's like, there's signs up around, like, if you see a downed eagle, don't touch it, let blah, blah, blah.
I didn't realize this was a thing, actually. I just know this from personal experience at home.
Oh, man. So there's a university over in Maryland. And, a lot of universities are out in the middle of the woods because that's where their land grant came from, right? Yeah. They cover lots of acres and some of it's unused. There's a university out in Maryland where they had a deer overpopulation problem. Well, yeah, because there's lots of discarded people food that's around that they can come into the actual quad of campus and eat at night, and they don't have any predators because there's fences around the whole area that they can bound over because they got incredible jumping ability. So it's like this protected area where they can just keep populating and populating and populating. So you know what they did? Instead of allowing this not hundreds but dozens upon dozens of acres, no one's allowed to hunt there because that would be wrong. They actually brought in a special team at the expense of like the university's endowment, so student money, all right, to find the deer, shoot them with tranq darts, anesthetize them, and then spay and neuter the deer, and then release them.
That's so many extra steps.
You know how expensive it was?
That's so many extra steps. Oh my God.
Just so the soft students wouldn't have to be burdened with the knowledge that somebody shot Bambi.
I can't get over this.
Seriously, look, I'm not even making that up. You can look that story up. And I was just like, that is not surprising to me. And like, how can that not be surprising? It's like, you don't spend all day on a campus, man. Trust me. That is very common thinking. We will spend $50,000, $75,000 to bring in and I love thinking of the specialized team. I'm having like Rainbow Six, Call of Duty visions of guys in like Predator armor that's all camouflaged for the woods, and they're going around with them pink fluted trank darts. Gotcha. And then throwing it in the back of a pickup and driving it to a laboratory to spay a deer.
Oh God. No, you know what I'm thinking about? You ever seen Caddyshack?
A long time ago, like when I was a little kid, I think I saw it on TV once. But
all right, I have the opposite opinion of who it is that was going around like shooting the deer with the trank darts.
Mm-hmm.
It's just Bill Murray's character going around finding ways to kidnap deer and spay and neuter him. And he's talking to himself as he's going through the woods, you know, with his Elmer Fudd gun, and he's just like, here, dear, 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 dear. Oh. Oh, now I gotta get the catapult out and knock you out in the head.
Yeah, it was
and then overcomplicates the plan to the nth degree. That's what I'm seeing, because this is such an overcomplicated way to thin the herd, basically.
And that's what I don't think people realize. It's like, I mean, this is going to be old news to a lot of people in chat, but it's you know, most conservation groups are made up of hunters and were founded by hunters, right? Like, it's not environmentalist tree huggers and the Ocasio-Cortezes of the world that run conservation groups and put out deer tags and are opposed to poaching and et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it's hunters who figure these things out first. And thinning the herd is a real thing, because a certain portion of the population is going to die every winter from starvation. That's how nature works.
Mm-hmm.
And the amount of deer tags that are given out and et cetera is based upon the amount that is expected to die of starvation, a portion of the amount that is expected to die of starvation. Why? Because there's not enough food. When you take 10 of them out of the herd, that means there's that much food for those that remain, and then they won't. See, this is, and they're like, no, it can't be that way. No, nature is that way. It absolutely is.
Callous bitch. Fairness doesn't exist.
It can be demonstrated with really solid mathematics that it does work that way. Like, meaning in terms of like animal populations. Well, how do they know how many animals are out there? Well, listen, tree hugging blue hair, you can calculate animal populations fairly accurately to within like 5-10%. Anyway, it bugs me that they would spend that much money and waste that much time on something like that, just so somebody wouldn't write up in the student newspaper that evil hunters were allowed on campus. My God, isn't there a chance of a stray bullet killing some LGBT POC student or something like that? Because that's the way it would be written up. The threat to student safety.
Why not just make that a whole ass class and be done with it? Like, oh, we're going to learn nature conservation, and part of the class is deer hunting season.
And why shooting deer doesn't actually change the deer population any.
Exactly.
When you don't over hunt.
Exactly.
Because there's gonna be some smart ass in the room who's gonna say, well, they took out all the buffaloes, goddamn cis white males. Like, you know, that sort of thing.
Because you over hunt, but
because you over hunted, hence the conservation groups. You know, anyway. It's like holding back the tide with a broom, Weebo. There's no point.
If there was more education, then, you know, well, more education. Solve the education problem with more education. Yeah, no, if there was more information available to people readily so that they could, you know, like understand what it is that they're criticizing a little bit better, then maybe, you know, we wouldn't have a burning world currently. Like, if people who were against gun ownership, against the ease of access to guns or whatever, wanted more gun control, had actually gone out and for once in their life actually attempted to buy a firearm to see how difficult it was, maybe they wouldn't be so, I don't know, gung-ho against the idea or so ignorant of what actual measures are in place. I don't know.
I hear you, and there's a reason. You said, why not have a class that's like, based around conservation, or where this material comes up at some point, right? It would never allow it because the people that control the curriculum are not interested in that. They would rather have social justice classes than in basic constitutional rights. They would rather have classes that are playing apologetics for Marxism rather than classes that don't. Do you know what I mean? It's like the most murderous ideology, the most destructive ideology that man has ever known, Marxism. And yet it's been apologetically described and has been so softened in terms of this isn't real Marxism, et cetera, or what about the Nordic socialist nations, all the apologetics that happen for it. And they're not intellectually confronted on that because none of that material is available in the curriculum. And for somebody who's been through high school and then a bachelor's degree and then now into grad school, and there's less and less of it every year because the people that control the curriculum are ideologues themselves and are avowed Marxists themselves. So of course they want it to look this way. Mm-hmm. I'm all for a free marketplace of ideas because it's like the notion is in a free marketplace of ideas, the best ideas will rise to the top. Yes,
that's the
but
intention.
it is a philosophic belief that that's going to happen, but I do think it will happen, but it has to actually be a free marketplace of ideas.
Yes.
Not a controlled environment where only certain ideas get in, where all the evils of capitalism are pointed out and none of the invariable flaws of Marxism are ever explained. Like, it can be described quite simply. Capitalism can go wrong and can turn into a horrible thing. Marxism can't do anything other than go wrong and turn into a horrible thing. It's an inevitability, where with capitalism, it's a possibility.
A fun lesson in philosophy, I guess.
In my opinion, anyway. It's
So, Polly, we have about 8 more minutes till we're at 2 hours total, and would you like to open it up to questions for the remainder?
Sure.
Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions for myself or my lovely co-host here, Polydub, you can go right ahead and ask them there in the little chat box there with plenty of little question marks, just so we know exactly what is a question versus what is not a question. And we will read those off and answer them to the best of our ability. Did I do that right?
Yeah. But you hear that dead air?
Yeah.
You're the host.
I'm the host. You're also a host. You're my co-host, Polly. All right. So part of this is a two-way street here. Takes two to tango. All right?
I know. I just like breaking balls. It's fine.
Breaking balls or busting balls? Because there's a difference.
Well, yeah, there is. So it's a funny thing. You got guys like Iron Alex can't stand dead air. I also, when I hear dead air, think, oh shit. Yeah, just start talking, say something. So chat, blah, 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 because chat's not here to hear silence. But then I'll watch guys like Young Ripper 59, Eric July. He will read a comic on stream. Like, not purposefully, like turn the stream on and just start reading a comic. I mean, he will be talking and saying, this comic right here came out last week, and he'll open it up and say, there's great art in it. And he'll just fall silent for like 30 or 45 seconds while he's turning the pages and looking at the art. Nobody complains. Like, because it's the style, the shtick of it's very chill stream. It's a chill channel. Mm-hmm. Nobody has an issue with it.
Well,
it makes me wonder.
Audience, it really depends on what the audience wants out of the stream that they're getting.
Yeah.
Lion Patriot with a question. Has Cole massacred any small creatures lately? Not to my knowledge. Of course, when he goes outside, I'm not quite privy to exactly what it is that he does, the nature of his work out there. It's top secret, and I'm not cleared to know it. But rest assured, the country is in good hands.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. He's a good boy. Although I was trying to film earlier today because I have a video coming out either Monday or Tuesday. I haven't decided what day, but it'll be out this week. It's another Thought Patrol. But I'm filming, right? And he comes in and he starts meowing again. He starts meowing at me because he wants attention. And I get it. He likes attention. I like giving him attention. But I'm busy. He's such a needy cat. Polly.
Yes.
Alpha and Omega asks you about Norbar tonight. Is there a Norbar tonight?
Oh, wait a minute. Just bring up this. Oh, yeah, Norbar tonight. There could be. There could be.
You don't want to actually commit.
I have to go round up the Ramblers and see who's available to do a stream tonight. Oh, wait a minute. It's Sunday night, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I should be able to find some people.
Okay.
Yeah. Pull together some stories. There's plenty of stuff to talk about other than the country being burned to the ground by a bunch of fake Marxists that are pretending that they're trying to care about George Floyd's death.
You know, I'm actually very proud of the fact that we didn't talk about that at all, basically, today.
Yeah, well, have you noticed?
Everyone has talked about it, and that's all that anyone can talk about.
Everyone has, and I was thinking about some way of doing it for Noir Bar. Like when the COVID-19 thing first popped off, AP has his night show host in Las Tias covered in rolls of toilet paper, and then because he's hoarding it, and then when the riots pop off, you can see him behind the window. Las Tias is fucking burning. I'm thinking, what can I do? No, I don't want to. I don't want to be that topical. It's Noir Bar is supposed to be happening in 1942, but where these things were going on. So
yeah. I'm just I don't know, because my Weebo hot takes didn't address it because I didn't want to address it because there was other news that I wanted to get to, and if I wouldn't do it justice if I was just going to be topical about it, like, oh, and this month the world is burning. Like, I'll mention it as a joke, but I don't actually want to get into it unless I'm going to do long form video content on it. Because there's so much that I want to say. I just don't want to partialize it, you know?
Well, when it comes to I mean, so many people have said so many things about it, and I think a lot of there's exactly what you would expect. Some good takes, some bad takes, some funny ones, whatever. And watch the content you like. But what I can't help but notice is how through mainstream news, the news entertainers have turned it from George Floyd protests or police protests to Black Lives Matter protests. It's now branded.
Mm-hmm.
And branded as BLM, Black Lives Matter is the thing.
Yeah.
What kills me is that is not a hashtag nor a statement. I mean, it might have been, but it's an actual organization. For the people that are saying Black Lives Matter and promoting it, ask them one question: who runs it? Because they have an organization. They have founders and co-founders and chairs and secretaries and treasurers. Who are they? Because since 2016, they brought in over $100 million, 30 million of it coming from George Soros alone. For what? I've read the Black Lives Matter manifesto, and it is just hardcore Marxist tripe. It's all class warfare. The not just economic classes, but racial classes. The entire world is interpreted as class distinctions, and like Marxism is absolutely unfalsifiable, because if you don't agree with them, it's because you possess a false consciousness. Mm-hmm. Either you don't understand that you're oppressed, or you don't understand your privilege as an oppressor. And this is the group that's getting these millions of dollars, especially right now, because people who are well-intentioned but uninformed and wrong-headed about how they're going to go about doing it are donating money. Huge liberal organizations are donating millions of dollars to Black Lives Matter, the organization. What are they going to do with that money? Are they rebuilding Black neighborhoods? Are they going to be putting back all those panes of glass that were destroyed?
That's a very good question. Is where does all of the donations that Black Lives Matter gets, where do they go? What is done with them? And what have they done? What can they boast?
They don't even, they're not even, it's like, well, to reinforce a community-based policing, blah, like all these really vague commie hippie pinko bullshit ideas about self-policing, where I'm not saying that there isn't value in community policing, but you've contorted the idea of community policing to the degree where we, the people who are demanding it, are the ones who get to be in charge of the people who are the police. That's all that it comes down to in the end. Mm-hmm. We, the demanders, want to control the police. It's like, yeah, but there's a mayor for that. The mayor tells the chief of police what to do. And you vote for that person. You're saying, well, they don't live in the community. Well, then that's the change that you should be demanding. Police officers are only patrolling neighborhoods that they personally live in or have a connection to. Like, there's actual discussion there to be had. What they're demanding is defund this whole thing and only give money back when we are the ones who are in charge and can make the demands of what they're doing. Oh, I don't want that. Can you imagine a whole bunch of that's privatizing the police force under Black Lives Matter through a demand of do what we say or we'll call you racist and you'll be ruined.
Yeah, no, let's not pursue that avenue. No, thank you.
But you say you didn't want to do politics, and I just ran down that route.
Yeah, you did. It's okay, though. We have no minutes left until the show is over. We got through almost 2 hours without it, so. But yeah, no, that definitely could be a topic for another day, I will say. I was just, I don't know. I think people are super politicked out. There are topics that have just been so pervasive, like COVID, the protests, the riots and whatnot, that I'm just people are obviously sick of it. So let's not be topical. Let's do anything else. And so we did. And so I'm proud of us anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, ladies and gentlemen.
Evolve Potato finished the IMDb page and submitted it for review.
Oh, shit.
I can only imagine.
I'm super hyped. 10 out of
right?
10. Thank you, Evolve Potato. Was it for Noir Bar specifically or comic book curation?
It has to be for Noir Bar. Well, it doesn't have to be, but I'm assuming it's for Noir Bar because on the Polydub IMDb, somebody already put comic book curation in there as one of the shows that I do. Anyway, you were doing a wrap up and I interrupted again.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Oh, and look, did you hear him? He was meowing outside the door. So I'll make this quick and then go give my cat some attention before I leave for work. Thank you guys for coming out and watching the stream and for being early. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully this won't become a regular staple of our show because I do like good old-fashioned calendaring in things and penciling in dates and whatnot. That's just who I am. And Polly,
we understand your OCD. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've never been actually diagnosed with OCD, but I wouldn't be surprised. Also, thank you to those who commented while the show was live. Thank you to those who are going to comment afterwards. We always appreciate that. And thank you to those who donated as well. Much appreciated. You guys are our sponsors, basically. So you guys make the show happen, definitely. Thank you for the likes, the comments, the subscribbles to both myself and Polly and to all of the other jazz that it is that you guys do that I can't even recall at this juncture because I'm distracted by the sound of my cat outside of my room. Polly, do you have anything to shill before we close it out for the evening?
Just generally my channel, Polydub. Fuck it. It's in the description. Go check out my channel where we do comic book curation well, no, wait a minute. There it is. It just took forever to come up because I run a potato.
Yes, you do.
So yeah, comic book curation happens over on my channel as well as Noir Bar that we've been talking about, a late night chill stream where we get together and talk about things. Even Weebo came by once. She deigned to join us. It was wonderful.
Yes, I did. Yeah. It was the best show you ever had.
It was. And we have Dax Orion over there, and Far, of course, is always keeping me company at the bar, and she's awesome and hilarious. Mm-hmm. So yeah, check out the channel. All sorts of fun stuff going on over there.
Yep. I will have an episode of something out this week, Picky Swear, and then actually, you know what? I won't be in town next week for our stream, I don't think. Maybe. I don't know. I have to see because I'm going up to Wisconsin with a boyfriend and some other friends. So hopefully I'll be back in time. We might have to push it back an hour or two, but we'll talk about that later, Polly.
Fuck, damn it. I didn't get to the mute button the second time. Shit. Excuse me. I got the first one, but not the second one. It's fine.
You tried so hard.
Yes, so thank you everybody for joining us, and thank you very much for the donations. Greatly appreciated.
Yes. And we'll see you guys when we see you next. So bye for now.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for the donations. Woo!